This is hopefully a short video explaining how to get started with the NoMachine software. It's a piece of software that runs on your local PC or Mac and enables you to connect to our desktop server, which gives you access to the Neuroimaging Analysis Network, where we have various resources for processing neuroimaging data. Quick note on getting NoMachine. Now, if you are using a managed desktop, you will find it's under the Software Center and you can just install it from there, or you should be able to just install it from there. If you have a non-managed machine and you want to install it, you will need to go to the NoMachine website. Now, there's a nice big red download button. You probably don't want that. That downloads a package which contains both the client and the server, which would then be running on your machine. If you wanted to connect to your machine remotely, that's something you could do, but really we're just interested in downloading the client, and that is under the downloads under Enterprise Products Evaluation, not particularly well named. And if you scroll right down to the bottom of this, you will find NoMachine Enterprise Client, and that's the package you want, and you can see it's available for various different architectures. I am not going to go into the install process for the NoMachine Client package. That's going to be operating system dependent and is a process you'll probably be familiar with by now. However, once you've installed it and started the application, you will see a window a little bit like this. You won't have these icons. These are different connections I've already set up, which we will go through that process now. You click on the Add button. You can enter a name. This is just a descriptive name. It's the string that appears here. The host name is the one that we provide. I won't give it in this video simply because we may upgrade the server at some point and change the name. The port number and the protocol remain the same. Once you've added the details in there, you'll be able to click the Add button up here, and that will then place a new icon on this screen. Now we have our new connection ready to go. We can start it just by double clicking on it. This opens a new window. It prompts us for our username and password. We would have provided these details when you requested your account. The username should match your KCL username. The password is specific to the Neuroimaging Analysis Network. On your first login, you are likely to be prompted to change this password. The feedback provided by the NoMachine client isn't wonderful if you haven't provided a password that meets our criteria, and you can get into a bit of a loop trying to change this. If you are struggling, we recommend you use SSH. That does provide more feedback. However, using that is beyond the scope of this video. Once you've typed in your password, you are ready to connect. It's worth just pointing out that there is the option here to save the password. We would recommend against doing that. It's certainly not secure to have passwords lying around in files. And if you are not typing your password in regularly, you are likely to forget it. It is used in a couple of other places, and if it needs resetting, you will have to go through the entire change password process again, which is a little convoluted. Right, let's connect. So we're now presented with a new screen and two icons here. One's to create a new virtual desktop. This is exactly what we want. The other one is to create a new custom sessions. Unlikely you will ever want to do that. So if we double click on this, it will take a few seconds to connect and to create a new desktop. A new desktop will look something like this. When you first connect, you may find that display settings are not to your liking. Here we're in viewport mode, so the remote desktop is larger than our window, and we have scroll bars to move around. Very cumbersome. You can use page pills in the top right hand corner. If you hover here, you'll see this little icon. There are different settings here. Under the display settings, the best option I find is resize remote display. If you click on that, go back, you'll see the remote desktop has been resized to fit our window. and if we drag the window around, the size is reset. The other useful option under here is full screen, and that obviously puts it in full screen mode. To make life a little bit easier, go to the input settings. We can ask for the icons to be put into the page pill, so we can change the display more easily. And there we go. Now, the other thing to be aware of is there is a difference between disconnecting and logging out. When you disconnect from NoMachine, and the easiest way to do that is just to hit this close button up here. Obviously, it's dependent on your operating system and window manager as to where that close button is. But if you close that, you have been disconnected from the server, but your session is still running. So if you were processing data, that would carry on in the background. You could shut your laptop down, you could go off, you could come back later and reconnect. You just reconnect by double clicking on this. You'll be prompted for your password again. Let's see if I can type that in correctly. Yes. And now, rather than having the create new desktop option, you can actually see we have a desktop that's already running and there are 0 users connected to it. If you double click on that, you're brought back to your running session. Now, if for some reason you want to log out and actually shut down all of your processes that are running on this machine, there is a log out button here which you can click, and that will shut things down. It's also, if you've got into a state where you cannot log in, it's just providing you with a black screen, which happens occasionally when things crash in the background, you can in fact terminate your session from here. If you right click on this, there is a terminate session button. And that's the same as clicking the log out button. That will shut down your session. And you can then create a new desktop using either of these 2 links, as you did before.